Most gym owners are leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table every single month and they don't even realize it. It's not because their ads aren't working. It's not because their marketing sucks. And it's not because the market that they're in can't afford what they want to charge. Frankly, it's just because they're pricing their memberships wrong. I've seen this inside hundreds of gyms, ones that we've talked to, ones that we've worked with, and honestly, I did this mistake myself as well. But a lot of times it's great coaches, honestly, great gyms, great community, solid programming, but just completely broken pricing models that make profitability either nearly impossible or just not what it should be. So until you fix this, no matter how many leads you get, no matter how hard you work, you're never going to be making the amount of money out of your gym that you could and that you should. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix your pricing so that you can make more money without adding any more members. And I'm going to break down three things. Number one, I'm going to break down the pricing mistake that kills 90% of your gym's profits. I'm then going to show you exactly how to fix this, exactly what you should be doing here. Two, I'm going to show you something that a small percentage of gyms are using to charge significantly more than their competitors, and all of that additional amount of revenue that they're collecting is all going to the bottom line into their bank account. And then third, I'm going to show you exactly how to actually go ahead and implement everything that I cover inside of this video without any sort of backlash inside of your gym, so you don't get any sort of complaints, so you don't actually lose your community. In fact, you actually just build a better community. By the way, everything that I'm going to cover in this is the same pricing frameworks that we use inside of Gym Academy. And the reality is it can change your business overnight. So go ahead, grab a notebook, because once you understand this, you're never going to look at the way that you've been doing pricing ever again. We're going to start with the biggest mistake that's costing gyms a small fortune every single month. And it's kind of like, honestly, a hidden pricing trap that you probably aren't even aware of how big of an impact it's having on your gym. And a lot of gym owners, they price their business like a commodity. Honestly, not the outcome, not the transformation that they're creating for their customers, and definitely not fitting the model of what they're running and what needs to be done and should be done in 2025, let alone, because by the time I'm recording this right now is at the end of 25, going into 2026. There's so many gym owners that charge less than what I was charging when I first launched my gyms in 2012. Most definitely, how gym owners figure out how to price their memberships, their services, is 100% definitely not based on any sort of math. And listen, I'm guilty of it too. When I first opened up my gym, I didn't try and figure out any sort of math equation to figure out what I should be charging. Like, I learned how to actually properly price my gyms years after I initially opened. At first, I was just straight winging it. So how I came up with my initial pricing was just, hey, same as probably what you're doing. What are other people charging? What should I charge? And I started as a semi-private gym, and I just did what other semi-private gyms were doing at the time. And then I transitioned into a large group bootcamp model. At first, I was charging $99 a month. Now, eventually, that price would change. But because of what I'm going to share with you in step 2 today, even though screwed up my pricing a lot in the beginning, I was still able to just stack a shit ton of cash because of what I'll share later with you. But 99% of gym owners aren't doing that step, so they're just screwed really altogether. They will just do what I did initially, which is just they'll look at what others are charging, not realizing that other gym owners are struggling, that they're absolutely broke, and they're wondering how they're going to actually make ends meet every single month. Now, there's an amazing resilience with gym and studio owners, by the way, and so I'm just going to give credit where credit's due, where they literally just eat shit because of how passionate they are for years. And I just wonder, it's like, how do you actually make ends meet every single month? Well, I'm going to stop it so that, like, if you are working your ass off, which I know you are, at least you're getting the return for the effort that you're putting in, as opposed to being stuck on this that doesn't end until you complete this video and then follow the steps in which I'll share with you. There's a handful of mistakes that actually happen when it comes to pricing. Not just actually like the pricing as a whole is wrong or incorrect, but I spoke with a gym owner recently who was running small group training, like that was his model, but then he was charging large group pricing. As I continue with this video, the types of gyms and studios that I'm speaking with are like small group, semi-private, large group, boutique, like the micro gym training based gym community, not your like, big box health club style gym memberships, unless you're looking to improve your training department, because frankly, a lot of those businesses screw that up too. I'm talking about training based gyms. Like that's what my world is. That's what I've owned. That's what our clients have. Like that's our bread and butter. And pricing is absolutely critical because frankly, we're not talking massive volume. Even like a boot camp, which is a higher volume model, we're not going to be having thousands of members at a single location. So there's got to be an inverse relationship. I'm getting ahead of myself, but there's an inverse relationship between how many people that you serve and how much you charge. I'll come back to that in a little bit. Now, it's really important because you have to understand the type of model that you are. Are you large group? Are you small group? And like large group, I consider really anything over 15, but really over 20 in a session. Small group is like 6 to 8. And then we can also say like semi-private is like 3 to 5, 3 to 6 or whatever, but we'll just, kind of bundle those into the small group. And I was speaking with a gym owner recently who is running small group, but then charging large group pricing, which is extremely extremely common. And then I had another person who's like, yeah, I have large group training, and they were charging like 99 bucks a month, yet they were capping their sessions at 12 people, which now is not large group. It's also not small group. It's in the middle. And frankly, businesses in the middle, like that's where businesses go to die. So that's definitely a place. I want to pick kind of either lane, so to speak. Be large group, be small group. There's no mid-sized group training service that actually makes sense. Not at least if you want to scale. The reason why this part is so important is understanding the model that you have, or your small group or your large group. The biggest thing, the foundational component inside of here is I want to have leverage. I have one-to-many in the model in which I'm training. So it allows me actually to make more in a single session because of that. It also adds a lot of protection into the business. That's really good in the long term, which I'm not going to just get into in this video, but just think about it. Like, we want to have leverage inside of our business model, and then we want to be able to price accordingly because of doing small group or large group, it allows us to manipulate our pricing in a way that makes sense for a lot of people and allows us to really scale without big teams and without you doing absolutely everything. We're talking about the pricing here. I don't want to fall into the trap of having a small group gym charging large group pricing, which is pretty common. I don't want to have a large group gym that's just charging something that's just impossible to profit on, because I will never have enough margin to ever hire a team or fix anything, or even frankly cover the rest of the bills inside of the business is based purely on what I'm charging. Or if I'm in small group, actually not realizing how much I can charge. So I'm going to share with you in a little bit just kind of like my baseline pricing targets for those models. But before I do that, I'm actually going to share with you how you can actually figure out what your pricing should be, because most people are coming up with the pricing by looking at their competitors or by looking at the features inside of their gym and thinking that it actually matters. But what you should do is just frankly use simple math. And I'm going to share with you an equation that'll show you exactly what you need to be pricing in order to hit your goals. It's called the capacity-based pricing equation. Your pricing is equal to your monthly revenue target divided by your max client capacity. So let's say your income goal is 50 grand a month. That's what your target is. That's what you want your gym to do. And for context, I believe that every gym in every market in both the small group or large group model can do 50 grand a month. 40 to 60 grand a month in every single market is 100% doable. Plenty of markets, plenty of gyms can go to 80K to 100K and beyond, by the way, too. Now let's say your target's 50 grand a month, and you take a look at like the size, the type of training that you're providing, you go, cool, I can easily serve 120 clients inside of my gym without it becoming like a nightmare. But if my target's 50 grand a month and I can hold 120 people, that means I need to price 416 a month, which is around 96 a week. We love charging weekly, or at least every 28 days instead of just monthly, because when you price that way, here's another little hidden trick where you can get a 13th month of revenue out of it. I mean, most people do monthly, but again, if you do it on monthly, that's only 48 weeks as opposed to 52 in the year. If I'm charging 40 to 70, let's say I'm doing a small group model, I can only serve 120 people outside of my gym, and I'm charging $40 to $70 a week, well, then you're just mathematically guaranteed to stay under 50 grand a month, which means you're now going to have to maybe go beyond the capacity of what your gym can do, but it's also going to impact all the other margin inside of your gym, and you're just going to be like, I'm working my ass off, team, I got all this stuff, and we just cannot get ahead every single month. And the reality is you cannot out hustle a broken equation. This equation will change everything inside of your gym, because now that you understand that your pricing isn't about what your competitors charge, it's not what feels comfortable to you, it's not what you're used to, your price must reflect your revenue target, your client capacity, the quality of your coaching, the type of service that you offer, and the level of accountability that you deliver. And once you can see the math, frankly, if there is fear that's holding you back from pricing what you're worth, then that's going to go away. You're going to stop guessing, you're going to stop undercharging, and you're going to be able to finally price this like a business, not a hobby. And when you have it like a hobby, it's what keeps you stuck. Now, as a little shortcut, for large group, I want to be charging between 150 to 250 per month. For small group, I want to be charging between 300 to 600, depending on how many times a week they come. So that's how you can figure it out. And when you use the math equation, you'll be able to figure out exactly what your pricing should be. So now that you know what you should charge, let's talk about the model that most of your competitors are not doing. And it makes those prices feel like an absolute no-brainer. This, in my opinion, is one of the biggest shifts that will change your revenue forever. And interestingly enough, it was popular years ago. It went away. And now, as we look into it with everything that's happening inside of like the macro and micro environment inside of the economy, how acquisition costs are rising, and like that I believe every single training-based gym should be doing. And frankly, it's selling outcomes and high-ticket transformations. Doing this is even when my pricing was trash. Like when I switched my model from smaller group to large group, I just did what most other people did. I said, oh, people are charging 99 bucks a month. I might as well charge 99 bucks a month. And at one point in time, which I didn't share earlier, I had one of my locations, which is where once I kind of figured out my new model, I almost went from shutting down to like just absolutely changing it. I launched a new location, absolutely packed to the gills from the very beginning. I had hundreds of members. I think I had like 300 members pretty quickly. This was like in the first 4 to 6 months. And I was like, man, why am I not making any more money? Like it was really, really stuck. And then I realized, dude, the pricing, like Like I had people paying me $60 a month, people paying me $90 a month and shit like that. And then they weren't treating the gym with respect, but we were constantly packed, and I just was not making the money. Now, I love having packed gyms, by the way. So I really want to stress that. I think that's actually extremely, extremely important of what goes into the psychology of your community and your town. But I need to make sure that I can actually make money. Like at this point, like I'm getting a pretty full gym, and frankly, I should be making twice as much out of that on a monthly basis that early. But because of selling outcomes and high ticket transformations on the front end, I was still able to be massively profitable, even though I was undercharging on my memberships. So all of this comes from understanding what you're selling, the invisible, the intangible. One of the first books that I ever read was a marketing and sales book, which is Selling the Invisible by Harry Beckwith. Taking that kind of approach into like, we're selling outcomes, we're selling, yes, fitness, but it's not work. It's not any of that stuff. Like you're the crazy one. You love working out. Your ideal client, your prospects, like they don't. That's why they're coming to you. Even if they can find all this stuff out for free online, they're coming to you because they don't like doing it. They need that level of accountability. They need the shortcut. They need the community, all that good shit. Frankly, they're terrified. But also there's like a shit ton of overwhelm. There's so much information out there. But it's really important to understand like you are selling the invisible outcome in which they're going to achieve. They can't touch it. They can't feel it. And it's not the workouts. It's not the classes. It's not your equipment. And frankly, even though I mentioned community, like the community is not what sells people. I think it's what keeps people long term, but it's not what sells people on the front end. None of that matters. What it is the outcomes. It's the transformations. It's from taking them from point A to point B in the fastest amount of time. I think this part, and I'm going to show you exactly how to price it on the front end, how to go ahead and get it all set up in a second. But something to really keep in mind is that people are willing to pay more, astronomically more, for a specific outcome in a shorter time frame on the front end to join your gym than they would be over the long term. And they're more likely to do that. Like if I put two people together and it's like both cold and they're like, hey, here, come meet Frank. Frank has a gym. Pay Frank $5,000 to help you, lose 20 pounds and completely fix your metabolism and your hormones so that you have the best energy ever. And this is a really shit example. I'm just using it, in 16 weeks. Or, hey, go join Frank's gym. We're using him as the example. We'll help you work out and you have to join for the next year and it's $5,000. They're going to be more likely to do option A because a lot of like the previous experiences that they've been burned. But frankly, they don't know if they want to do this forever. They're willing to take a smaller bite of the apple as far as time frame and pay more to get a specific result than commit to long term when they haven't been successful. They haven't been able to do that ever before. Another kind of thing about pricing that is so important and why, like, frankly, there's a lot of people that I think it's just a worthiness inside when it comes to pricing and being able to price their gym accordingly or just their business accordingly, which holds them back. But your pricing is one of the biggest levers that will allow your business to be profitable. So I have a good friend of mine. He's also a gym owner. He actually opened up as one of my franchisees. I then helped him launch a business online when he wanted to figure out how to make some money on the internet. And this year, that business will do about 50 million in revenue. Now, they have a few different services and everything like that right now. But in the beginning, when they hit like 30 million a year, it was really just with one service. But they don't actually serve more clients. They're actually just able to charge their clients more. And a lot of this comes down to something I'm not covering in the video, which is TAM, but it's talking about pricing. So if person A is serving 100 people and charging $100 a month, and person B is serving 100 people and being able to charge them $1,000 a month, well, the same amount of service, this person just makes more money. It's the same thing. It's like the difference between the margin inside of the business because they're able to charge more. Like such a simple example, but it's why pricing is so important. Inside of gyms, this is what's going to allow you to really be able to increase your price, especially when you can package together this higher ticket front end offer. It's going to allow you to be able to make 2, 3, 4 times that you would for your back end when it's packaged properly, which then all of that additional outcome that just goes straight to your freaking bottom line. That just goes into your bank account. So why not do it? I also believe that people that pay more attention. So when they pay more attention in the beginning, they get better results, which is going to lead to more referrals, which is going to lead to a stickier client, which will lead to better reviews, and a better just kind of a flywheel is going to be occurring because of the word of mouth that's going to occur from your business because they're getting better results because they invest in more. Somebody that pays $5,000 versus somebody that pays $5, like the person that pays $5, they don't give a shit. They could lose that and not care. So it's something to really, really consider about the psychology behind pricing and getting your clients to actually get amazing results. Biggest thing I want you to understand as a fit pro, whether you're gym owner, trainer, whatever you're watching this, is that people they don't give a shit about the workouts. They care about the transformation that's on the end of that. They care about the outcome in which they're going to get. So just understand that if you own a training-based gym, you are not competing with these super cheap commercial gyms and health clubs or those idiots that are charging super cheap because they're not going to be around anyway. And people do not make decisions based on price. price. So here's how to build your high ticket front end offer. Number one, start with a defined outcome. Get super, super clear. Here's 2 cheesy examples. Lose 8 to 12 pounds in 12 weeks. Build strength and muscle over 40s. That is very concrete, 2 different examples of an outcome, a defined specific outcome. It needs to be clear, it needs to be measurable, it needs to be valuable. Number 2, you need to package everything needed to achieve that outcome. So there's a lot of really great people, whether it's Russell Brunson, Jason Fladline, all those people that talk about like packaging. But the big thing is if I'm saying, hey, here's a specific result that you're going to get, here is this outcome that you're going to get inside of this program, this time framed, kind of outcome-based high ticket front offer, I need to then show them exactly so they can like believe it, everything they're going to get so they can actually get there. And it's training, it's nutrition, it's coaching, it's accountability, maybe check-ins, maybe progress tracking, maybe there's community inside of there. But these are all the things, maybe it's hormones and stuff, everything like that. Supplements, you could even package inside of there. There's all these things that they go, hey, and by the way, I like packaging supplements and all that separately because then it's an additional revenue stream. It's like the second sale, super easy. Now the person says, hey, here's this outcome they promised me in this time frame. Oh, I'm getting all of these things, which I didn't have before, which is why I haven't been able to do it, which is cool. I can actually commit to this. Great. Now I see it. I'm not selling a session. I'm not selling just that. I'm selling the outcome which they're getting and all the tools they need in order to get there. That's why I'm able to essentially price this in a better way. Step 3 is then I need to set premium front end prices. Take advantage of this, like set it up. Your clients will actually get better results. You'll be able to pay attention more, put more resources, because also newer clients need more attention anyway, and different kinds of attention. But then if I'm packaging something, let's say I have a 6, an 8, a 12, a 16, whatever my front end offer should be, I can charge anywhere, depending on your model, from like $500-$600 all the way to $3,000 to $5,000 or more, like inside of that front end. So if you're not doing that right now, like a lot of like gyms do a low barrier offer. They start with like a low ticket. I'm not a fan of low tickets. They have their time and their place, but why go on a discount when I can actually be profitable on my front end and get a better client there? And frankly, like your clients will have zero problem paying a premium when the outcome is clear. So if you are looking to make more money, if you're looking to have better clients, better commitment, better retention, and a stronger than back end membership, package your front end offer properly, price it accordingly. When your front end is premium and outcome focused, your recurring membership also, by the way, becomes super obvious. It becomes reasonable, even becomes cheap by comparison. We have a member inside of the academy, RJ, and he joined with us. Like he wasn't in the gym industry. His wife was also one of the owners of the business. She was in the industry. She worked for other people. So they decided to start their own gym when he left his corporate career. And they were looking at like how to structure it. So there was some stuff on like baseline foundational stuff that got to be approved because they were having too many services, all of that. But their pricing in the beginning was like pretty jacked up. So one of the first things we did is we put in a front end offer, then we increased their pricing. So I can't remember what they were charging in the beginning, but now they were charging $797 for a 60-day program. Then we took their 60-day program from $797 to $1499, and he was able to double revenue, one, without any more clients. He was still slinging 15 to 20 new deals a month, but he found that even though he doubled his price, it didn't reduce the amount of people signing up. Actually, it made closing them easier, not harder. It made it easier. So just from changing his price, he didn't change anything that they were getting, just doubling the price. He doubled his money and he made the deals easier when they signed up, or easier to close. Now you're probably thinking, cool, all of this makes sense, but how can I go ahead and implement in this my business, especially if I'm increasing prices? Like how do I go to my current members, increase prices without pissing anybody off? So pretty simple. Let's go into step 3, how to reprice your business without backlash. Now, most gym owners, when they go to fix their pricing, they do it absolutely wrong. They handle it like very softly and they're very timid, and then they get bulldozed by their clients or anything like that. And they usually do something like crappy, like, hey guys, like prices, they're going up all around, so I need to do prices. And then they raise prices by like $10 and it's stupid. Don't do it that way. Instead, you gotta understand that your clients, they understand about it, but they don't give a shit about inflation. They don't give a shit about your rent. They don't give a shit about your payroll. Like those are, hey, welcome to business. Like that's your responsibility. What they care about is the value that they're getting. They care about the results. They care about the experience. They care about the coaching. They care about the community. They care about the transformation in which they're getting. So the worst thing you can do is talk about your costs. You got to talk about the value that they are going to be getting. If you want to reprice your business properly, here's exactly what to do. Number 1, I actually don't go to my current clients first. And sometimes, depending on how bad it is, you don't need to do it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to start with new clients for a couple reasons. One, for your belief in it. Once you start selling to new people and you realize that they're not balking at it, there's not any issue, it's actually easier, you're just gonna be like, man, I wish I did this earlier. Why did I wait so long to do this? So it's gonna build the belief in you that you can charge more, which is awesome. And it's easier to do new people. You can charge more on the front end, charge more on the memberships, all of that. The other thing it's gonna do is you are then gonna eventually look and be like, man, I have these other clients and like I should be charging them more. Like, and you start getting to the point where you almost get frustrated. So then you force yourself to take action because you realize you're like, man, I got all these new people coming in. They're paying the normal prices. The business should be here, but it's here. So now it's time to make a change. But it is easier to start with new people because then you're getting that new revenue, that new income in. And depending on where the state of the business is, there's different time frames in which you can go on that. But the biggest thing is you get that belief, because a lot of people are just scared to increase their prices. You get that belief in realizing that, like, yes, you can charge significantly more. Then when I go to bring it to my members, which is extremely important, like I had a franchisee that we doubled his revenue revenue from fixing pricing, not signing up any more people, not doing anything like that, just from taking his current members, increasing their pricing properly to double the revenue, which was all back into his pocket. How we did this, number one, gotta lead with leadership. Now that it's an upgrade, not just a price hike. Hey, we're improving our coaching system to get you better, faster results. Here's everything that you're going to get, and I'll get there in a bit, but like you gotta just like lead them. Like people want to be led. If you say it, and generally speaking, anytime you do something, as long as you give it a reason, most people are fine, but you gotta take it with leadership, not like cowardice. I've had gym owners that have needed to increase price, but they were uncomfortable because they had money issues and shit in their head and all that, and they went and increased price. They handled it absolutely improperly, and it backfired on them big time. So number one, lead with leadership. Number two, you can grandfather existing members if you want, also for like a 30, 60, 90-day period, just depending on the type of business. Like we did a 90-day grandfather for a client that we took from large group to small group because the pricing was like 150 pretty much, going up to, at the time, I think it was like 600 a month were pretty much the options. So we did a 90-day grandfather period so that the new clients could see the added value. They were able to then experience the higher level of service and everything like that before they ended up paying for it. And this is a little bit of that like law of reciprocity. You're giving them something, they're getting something as a result, so that when it does happen, they understand it. It's not super abrupt or anything like that nature. So if you're able to do that in your side of your business, giving some sort of grandfather period is great. Generally speaking, people will complain less when they actually see the value of why stuff is happening. And then the third thing you want to do is actually show the improvements. Like what is changing? Talk about what is going on inside of the business, whether it's new progress tracking, whether like you're changing the way that you're doing your experience and service. Maybe there's things that you've actually added into it. Like actually show them what those improvements are. Show them the difference, not just announce it, increase the price, and do absolutely nothing. Number four, the final thing is you need to then frame the pricing around the outcomes, not the numbers. It's not just you're increasing price $50. It's not that you're just doubling it. It's because of this path to that outcome. Why you actually got into this. Why you don't just have a commercial-based gym or a health club or anything like that. Like you care about the results of your clients. You care about the level of service. This is why you're doing it, to get them faster like to their goals. And you're going to do that by giving them more support, more coaching, more accountability with a program built around them. Like you have to really help them understand everything inside of it. And there's a couple different ways in which we help our members inside of the academy actually then go ahead and bring this to their existing client base so that doesn't really impact them at all. But frankly, you just got to make sure you have a really good path and plan in place to do there so that you don't get a bunch of backlash. So now you got the full system. You're no longer going to be just selling access or memberships. You have a plan of, hey, how much I should be charging. You have a plan of, hey, how I can actually make more on the front end, and a plan to actually go ahead and increase prices to existing members. So to recap, number one, we went over the pricing equation. It is your revenue target divided by your capacity to set your real price. Number two, make sure you're selling outcomes, coaching, and transformation, not the classes, not access, not the training sessions. And number three, reprice with leadership, confidence, and value, not an apology. Don't be a bitch when you go ahead and increase pricing. So fix these three things, get this right, and you'll not only make more money, you'll attract better clients, you'll improve retention, and you'll finally actually be able to step into like a business model that matches the level of service that you're delivering. So that like you didn't open up a gym to be trapped inside of it. Now you're getting the benefits that comes with owning your own business. So if you want to take a deeper dive into how to build profitable gyms, then just keep watching the other videos on this channel. I'm sure by now there's be another video popping up for like my next video for you to go ahead and watch. And also go ahead and hit subscribe. We're dropping new videos every single week on how to help you grow and scale your gym in a smarter way, not a harder way. And for context, everything that I share with you is 100% doable on your own. However, if you want the shortcut to your progress, that's what we do inside of Gym Academy. We have gym owners implement the right pricing structures. We help them create and or relaunch the correct offers. We rebuild their ad strategies to attract the right clients that have no problem paying what you are worth, as well as how to operationalize the entire business, how to do team, how to scale a team, because we do that very differently, but ultimately, how can you actually scale and build $1 million business? If you want our help doing all that, you want to learn a little bit more about that as well, there is a link in the description below this video that you can go ahead and fill out. Either way, stop undercharging in your gym. Start scaling and building a business that you are proud of, that then also pays you handsomely for the effort that you're putting in. Till the next one, peace.